So once I've finished my work, I give it a varnish which is up to conservational standards, and that basically means that it's got 2 layers of varnish. The first is a non-removable layer which sits underneath, and the top layer of varnish is removable. And basically what that means is at any stage through the life of the painting, the removable layer of varnish can be stripped, and that can take away any dust or grime or damage build-up, and then there is always that fixed under varnish which protects the painting, and then a new removable varnish can be applied on top. And how I do this with my acrylic paintings is I use this Liquitex, which is the acrylic medium gloss varnish, and that is a water-based varnish, and so the molecules of that varnish attach to the water-based nature of the acrylic paint, and it adheres to it permanently, and that makes it non-removable. And then my final varnish layer, I use this Matisse Final Varnish matte finish, and this is a terps based varnish. So this is not water based, it needs to be cleaned down with terps, diluted with terps to the right consistency, but it can be removed by just wiping terps over it basically, and the water based varnish will always protect the actual painting as a barrier coat. And so I love a matte finish to my work. It really brings out the softness and the delicacy that I try and achieve in my work. But the reason I use gloss as the under varnish is because matte varnishes have an element in them which diffuses light. And if you build up too many layers of that varnish, you'll actually create a cloudiness to the finish. So whenever you're varnishing, you always do the under layers in gloss because that creates the clarity, and then the final few layers, 2, 3, 4, depending on how thin you're doing them, will be the matte varnish, and that just creates the desired finish that you want. And so I apply my varnishes with a paint spray gun, and that allows me to get them on really fine onto the canvas. It doesn't have any texture to it. It does mean that I've got to do a few more layers because they go on so thin, so it's a little bit of extra work, but it creates a super soft flat finish, which I feel is in keeping with the vision that I'm trying to create in my work. And then obviously I use the correct safety equipment, especially with the terps-based varnish, so that'll include things like a proper ventilator mask and chemical protective gloves, eyeglasses, and that kind of thing. And so that really highlights the level of craftsmanship that I like to put into my work. It isn't just about the process and the fine painting, but I really want to bring a level of elegance to the work so that when it's acquired by somebody, they really are getting a whole experience of quality and not just a vision of my artwork.